Plaintiff Alyssa Clark says she and the defendant were best friends, and they did everything together, including getting tattoos. Alyssa's father thought the defendant was a bad influence on Alyssa because she got expelled from high school for selling marijuana, and she's suing her today for stolen money. Defendant Lashane Watts says she and Alyssa were good friends in high school, but she wouldn't say they were best friends. Lashane says they were both rebellious teenagers, and although she pled guilty to stealing from Alyssa, she insists she did not commit the crime.
Prove your case.
Lashane and I were best friends in high school. We would hang out all the time, go skateboarding, go shopping. We got tattoos together and piercings. My parents didn't like her. My parents didn't like her, but she was still my friend. And so even though they didn't like her, I still hung out with her. And unfortunately for her—
Why didn't your parents like her?
The way she acted, her attitude and everything. And she was a bad influence on me. My dad didn't like that.
How was she a bad influence?
The tattoos and the personality also. Like I was never disrespectful for my parents until I hung out with her.
Okay, and you would never have gotten a tattoo had it been for her.
We actually got them together.
I know,
together.
but the question is you.
No,
they weren't mad with her, they were mad with you.
No.
And you say she influenced you to get it.
Correct.
And you never would have gotten a tattoo in your life had it not been for her.
Correct.
Plaintiff Alyssa Clark is suing her former friend, who she claims was expelled from high school for selling marijuana.
So she was getting you in trouble, making you get tattoos. What else?
Well, in the 10th grade, she actually got expelled for selling marijuana on school.
Okay.
And then in the 11th grade, I got a job, and we were friends, really good friends. I hung out with her more often after she got expelled because no one else from school would go see her. And I thought I would put the extra effort in because she lived a few walks away from me. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't hard going to her house.
So you thought you would hang out with a criminal out of charity?
If you want to put it like that, correct.
Put it like it is. That is true, right? Mm-hmm. Pardon?
Correct.
Okay, so you hung out with a criminal out of charity, and now you have to sue the criminal for stealing your money.
Well, it's a different crime. I never would have.
A crime is a crime. If you get a criminal, they may not repeat the same crime, but they may commit a crime.
Correct.
All right, so you hung out with a known criminal because you felt sorry for her, and the known criminal stole your money.
Yes.
All right, let me hear from you.
Well, first of all, me and Alyssa, we were friends in high school. I didn't really I consider her like a good friend of mine, but I wouldn't say best friends. At the time, we were both 16, so we were both rebellious. We both did crazy things. She was
like what? What did she do that you didn't lead her into doing?
Well, she wanted to get a tattoo.
She said you influenced her.
Well, it was like both of us.
No, someone had to say, let's get tattoos. And the other, or I'm going to get a tattoo. And the other one says, I am too.
No, I already had my tattoo before she ever got one.
That's not what we're talking about.
Well, it's
you said we both did it at the same time.
We both did it together.
No, one has to say it first.
I don't even know how to explain it.
Who said, let's get tattoos? Or did you do like this? Let's get tattoos. Did it go like that?
No.
Right, so you didn't do it together. Somebody said it first.
Yeah.
That's my point I'm making now. Go right ahead. Stolen money. Why are you suing her for that?
Well, in the 11th grade, I started working full time. And I was able to put in a good word for her and get a job because the working experience was a good experience for me, and it changed me and made me think of the world as a different place. It made me be more responsible. I thought it would help her too. I really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And so I got her a job with me, and months later, I went to go make a purchase with my ATM card, and it was denied. I went to the bank to find out that I had numerous charges that weren't mine. And the banker informed me that all the charges were done with an ATM card and correct PIN. But my ATM card was never stolen, and nobody else had my PIN. So the first person I went to was my best friend. I told her everything. I didn't know who else to go to. And that same night after I told her, she gave me this bogus story about some guy she had picked up from work, and he had to use the restroom. So she led him up to the employee's restroom upstairs, which is right next to the employee's break room. And he's the one who stole my card. But it was never missing. There was numerous purchases, so it didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. So I went to the police with that statement she gave me and made a police report. Mm-hmm. And then after I got to the police station, Lashane ended up showing up. And I understand why. She had nothing to do with it. But I thought she was being a good friend to be there for me and maybe give the police officer more information. That'd be helpful. So after I left the police station, I went back home and I thought about it. I'm like, well, it's quite possible it could be her. All the transactions took place on our job, like right next to our job. And she had a new cell phone, a new bicycle. And I'm just like, how did she get the money for that?
Right.
So I called back the police station and spoke to the same officer who took the report and informed him of my suspicions. And then after I told him, he informed me that after I left the police station, she had stayed and spoke to the officer and was able to give him my PIN number. And not only that, she confessed to being seen at all the videotapes because he said they would check them for evidence.
So she confessed?
Practically, yes.
And was she prosecuted?
Yes, and she was ordered to pay restitution to me through her probation.
Okay, ma'am. Do you have a disorder
No.
with your eyes?
No.
Okay, well, okay, well, you need to look. This is what you keep doing.
Yeah.
Unless you have a disorder, I need you to look at me.
Plaintiff Alyssa Clark is suing her former friend, who she claims was expelled from high school for selling marijuana.
Okay, ma'am.
Well, basically everything she's saying is right. But the credit card that I used never had her name on it. It never said Alyssa Clark. And so I wasn't dating the guy, but he was just like one of my really good friends. So I thought he was just giving me money for free. I didn't even think about it at the time because.
Did you confess to taking her money and then later ordered restitution?
Yes.
So why don't you think you should have to pay today?
No, I mean, of course I would take the blame for it.
You don't?
Of course I will take the blame for it.
Why don't you think you should have to pay? When you take blame for something and the person says, I want you to repair the damage you've done.
That's what I'm trying to do now.
So why are we here?
I went back to school. I went to school, so I had quit my job at Ralph's. So I didn't have any money at the time to pay her, like the $200 a month
that time?
bills. Right. At that time.
When was that? That time?
Maybe summer of last year.
Okay, so since the summer of last year, you have not worked?
I haven't been able to pay.
Have you
it at
worked?
all. No.
And has she requested money from you directly or
No.
through a third party since that time?
About a month ago.
Did she just sue you instead?
Yes.
Is that true?
Over the internet, over Facebook or MySpace, I told her that I need money, and I said,
Did she ever say, I'm not working?
No, she did not.
So you wanted to say something, young man? Stand
sure.
up. State your name.
My name is Eric Chadwick.
What do you want to tell me?
There was a conversation on MySpace that you do have an evidence that you should submit where you did ask and she denied owing you.
There you
did
go.
have contacts.
Everybody needs a good lawyer at this side, don't you? Everybody needs a good lawyer. Let's see it, please. All right, well, anything you want to say about what I'm about to read, ma'am?
I don't even remember that conversation.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay. You say that kind of flippantly. No.
know.
You remember stealing from her, don't you? Yeah.
No.
So that's why you're going to remember paying this judgment. Okay? Judgment for the plaintiff, $1,800.
I think that both of them should have learned something from the situation. They're both kids when it first happened, but they should each take this and turn it into something good. Find a silver lining. That's my opinion.